Everyone, Jason from TechAU, and today we've got something special, brand new product, not out on the market yet, and I want to talk about it. It's a drone, so let's have a look at some back catalogue first. This is the first FPV drone from DJI, a couple of years back now, quite substantial, big battery in the back that comes out like this, and lots of fun, great first product in the market for DJI. Then we move to this guy, the DJI Avata. A lot smaller props, quite a lot more nimble, maybe not the same top speed, but incredibly fun. And just to compare the two different sets of goggles that we get with those, this is the first generation, quite large and sizable. Then we move into the Avata, a lot more optimized, a lot more comfortable on the head. And of course, we've got the controller for the FPV. And then here's what we're here to talk about, is this guy, DJI Avata 2. So when we have a look at this and how it compares to the first generation, we've got a completely different battery system, completely different set of goggles, even a new controller. And let me walk you through each one of those. So with the Avata 2, you can see very distinct differences in terms of the styling. So there we go. And the props, I mean, they're the most obvious thing. We increase the prop size, and that can either reduce the noise by spinning the prop slower to achieve the same velocity, or obviously a high velocity and then you get faster. So let's just keep going through the differences between the two. Obviously the camera system is quite similar in terms of, you're going to get 4K visuals out of these, which is amazing. What we've got here really is a difference in the chassis design. So if I take the battery out of this guy, it's got this sort of pull tab like the first gen did, and then you extract it. And really there's not much to the shell once you remove the battery. And if we compare how the Avata 2 looks in that respect, the battery compartment is actually a rear entry from the chassis, much more like the Pro 4, those kind of things, the Mini Pro 4. The other drones in DJI's lineup, much more typical to see it from the back. Yeah, it's quite a different profile on the battery, and depending on which package you choose, you might get 3 of them, and they come in the standing charging case, which is really great. USB and storage, micro SD, has moved from the very annoying inside the prop guard here. That was very difficult to get to, so I think they've made a good improvement by just simply moving it under here. Much easier to get to, which is great. We do have rear sensing cameras on this, which on the original Avata that did not exist. We had down-facing ones, but not reverse. Now, depending on the maneuver that you're pulling, a lot of your work is going to be going forward, but definitely if you're, yeah, it depends on your use, whether you're doing the FPV thing or whether you're just using it to capture stuff. It's great to have that sort of smarts and technology in the drone. That means you're protected regardless really of the direction that you fly. So I'd still think that the collision avoidance and things like that are going to be better on some of the bigger drones. But man, this is good stuff. So what else can I tell you? Oh, so the controller, this is one thing that I found interesting. So in theory, the controllers for the first generation and the second generation look very similar, minus this. So this used to be sort of the broadcast technique to get better range and that sort of stuff. That's all gone in favor of just a smoother, cleaner design. If we have a look at the backs, almost identical on the back. Sorry, I'll keep them the same way. The controls on top, you still got manual mode. Everything else almost identical. We have moved to silver thumbsticks instead of black. Subtle difference there, but not much else. I think probably one of the biggest differences is in the headset. So if we have a look at the Avata 2, they've really changed the way this works. So the Avata 1, if we grab this, you basically have this and then a external battery pack you'd have in your pocket. And so this was quite nice to wear. Not terrible in terms of its design, and a big step up from the original. But if we have a look at the Avata 2 headset, we've now got this big section up here, and I think that also includes some of the transition stuff, but it certainly helps support the weight on your head. And then on the back you've got this external battery pack and a nice toggle to do it up. So when you place that on your head, I can do that now, then it's just a quick adjustment of the dial to sort of tighten it or loosen it. And these, unfortunately, they don't like flip right up. I was hoping that they did. You can do that certainly, but it's more about sort of positioning these so these are comfortable on your face. There is a very different approach to sort of covering your face. It's more of a plasticky feel, and I find that really does a good job, especially when you tighten that dial at the back really nice. Same sort of optical movement between the lenses here, all that's fairly similar, but just great to not have to have the external battery pack. It's all sort of included, and of course you just charge via USB-C. One of its best new features, this has front-facing cameras. Now, why would it have cameras on the goggles? That's so you can do pass-through. Really easy to get to. You just double tap on the side, and then the vision changes from what you're seeing through the drone, through the drone's camera, to these cameras on the front. So if you've got a, I don't know, look around at your surroundings, maybe there's, you know, people passing by and you want to check out what's going, make sure they're not going to come and rob you. Yeah, there's a litany of reasons as to why. Maybe it's getting gear out of your bag, or you're going for a battery switch or something, and you don't want to take the headset off. You can just switch to the pass-through, and I think that's a really neat inclusion in the Avata 2. So we'll go for a fly. We're in a sort of an amazing regional Victoria location today. Got some nice trees and stuff to fly around. Should be visually interesting, and we'll capture all that for you. So yeah, the Avata 2, there'll be more information on the site, but yeah, this is a quick run through of what the hardware changes are, and then we'll have a look at the footage that comes from it. Cheers.